What if I told you that a dusty, forgotten ebook from the early 2000s might just hold the key to today's creator economy? Well, today, we are cracking open a digital time capsule. It's a blueprint called Internet Marketing Fortune Jumpstart, and it promised to turn regular writers into online millionaires. So let's pull this thing apart and see what makes it tick, step by step.
And here it is. The cover just screams early 2000s, right? The promise was absolutely electric. You didn't need to be some kind of guru. You just needed to work for them. This guide framed the internet as this new wild frontier, a place where you could learn the secrets of the masters and literally build a fortune from nothing.
You gotta love this. The guide just kicks off with this massive battle cry. It's simple, it's powerful, and it perfectly captures that dot-com boom energy. See, back then, the internet really felt like this wide open field where anyone could just show up and strike it rich. And this guide, it positioned itself as the treasure map.
Okay, but here's the catch, and this is what's so smart about this guide. It immediately tackles the biggest problem everyone had. Everybody wanted a piece of the action, but the gatekeepers, these so-called gurus, who were basically the online course creators of their day, were charging a fortune. So the manual asks the one question on everyone's mind: how do you get in the game when you can't even afford a ticket?
And this is where it gets really clever. This was its brilliant, totally counterintuitive solution. Forget about paying for expensive courses. The secret was to just flip the script entirely. Instead of being a student who pays for knowledge, you become an apprentice who gets paid to learn by offering the one skill every single internet marketer was desperate for: writing.
So instead of getting bogged down trying to build a website or create a product right out of the gate, the journey starts at the most accessible place you can imagine: becoming a ghostwriter and learning the business from the inside out.
The guide basically lays out 3 different doors you can walk through. You could try copywriting, which is all about selling with words, or you could try blogging, which was all about that daily community engagement. But it strategically points you toward ghostwriting as the perfect first step on the ladder. It's project-based, it's way less intimidating, and it lets you build up your skills and your portfolio behind the scenes.
And it's not just about slamming words on a page. The book gives you this kind of ghostwriting 101 checklist for success. The message is clear: be a professional. Do your homework on the topic. Keep your formatting clean, and, this is so crucial, use every single job to build momentum. Get those testimonials, build that portfolio, and always be thinking about how you can add a little extra value so you can start charging more.
Now, you may be thinking, wait a minute, this sounds like I'm just getting used for cheap labor. And the manual is brutally honest about it. It flat out says you're going to start at the bottom taking low-paying gigs. But look how it reframes it. It's not exploitation, it's on-the-job training. Every single gig, no matter how small, is basically paid tuition.
All right, so you've put in the reps as a writer. You've learned the basics. Now, it's time for the next level. Let's move to the next phase in the journey. The goal now is to master the most profitable skill in the entire game: copywriting, or as the guide calls it, becoming a master of sales.
This right here is the psychological playbook. A good sales letter wasn't just text. It was a carefully engineered journey. You start with a huge attention-grabbing hook. Then you dive right into the reader's biggest problem. Then you kind of poke at that problem, make it feel urgent, almost painful. And then, just when they can't take it anymore, you swoop in and offer the perfect solution: your product.
And just look at this classic headline: discover how you can gain instant access. It's all about those big promises and sparking curiosity. Notice how they use the word "you" in all caps? That's not an accident. It speaks directly to the reader's desire for a quick win. The thinking was simple: a great headline could make you rich. A bad one? You were dead on arrival.
Then you scroll down into the body of the letter. See all that bold text? The check marks next to the benefits? That's all designed to keep your eyes moving down the page, constantly reminding you of your problem. It can be all time and effort consuming, while drilling home that this product is the one and only cure.
But it wasn't all about the hard sell right away. The blueprint introduces another super critical tool: the squeeze page. Its job was way simpler than a long sales letter, but for long-term success, it was arguably even more important. And this is a perfect example of what they looked like. It's so simple, right? No long story, no complicated sales pitch. Just a powerful headline, the promise of a freebie, and a box for your name and email. The goal wasn't to sell a product right then, it was to capture that email address, to earn the right to sell to them later, over and over again. That email list, that was the real gold mine.
Okay, so you've mastered ghostwriting, you've learned the art of copywriting. Now what? Well, this is where the guide really shifts gears.
It's time to stop just working for other people and start building your own assets, your very own money-making machine.
The whole strategy here was to be everywhere at once. You'd build these huge networks of blogs to soak up all that traffic from search engines, you'd publish articles on these directory sites to position yourself as an authority, and then you'd weave affiliate marketing into everything, making commissions just by recommending other people's stuff. It was all about creating this web of influence that funneled attention and money right back to you.
And this right here is the most important mental shift in the whole book. You're no longer a writer who's just trading hours for dollars. You're not on a hamster wheel anymore. You are an entrepreneur. You're building a system, an empire of content that works for you even when you're sleeping.
And this brings us to the final evolution, the end game of the Fortune Jumpstart plan. How do you go from being a successful one-person show to running a real, scalable business?
The answer is pretty timeless, honestly. You stop doing everything yourself. You find partners to team up with for big launches. You hire other writers to do the exact same work that you started out doing. You build a team. You become the manager, the strategist, the person overseeing the machine instead of just being a cog inside it.
Oh man, and you can't talk about this era of internet marketing without mentioning the bonuses. This is so classic. Every single offer was just stacked to the ceiling with these irresistible bonuses, often packaged up as some kind of exclusive gold membership. It was a masterclass in creating perceived value, making you feel like you were getting such an insane deal that you'd be crazy to pass it up.
But after all the hype, all the promises of instant fortunes, the guide ends with a really important dose of reality. This whole path, this whole journey from writer to business owner, it takes patience. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And that really leaves us with one big question, doesn't it? Especially for anyone trying to make it online today. The tools have changed, for sure. Easy articles and blog networks are now Substack, TikTok, and YouTube. But what about the core principles? Get paid to learn your craft. Master the art of selling. Build your own assets. And then scale with the team. Does this blueprint from the 2000s, in its heart, still hold the secret to success today? That's something to think about.